Dale, how'd the car feel during practice today?
Oh, it had some really good moments. Every run that you run at any racetrack, there's always something you wish the car would do a little bit better. But I feel pretty happy about where we're kind of netting out with the rest of the competition. Yesterday we had a practice and it wasn't electronic, so we really didn't know what everybody else was running lap time wise. But today we had electronic scoring, so we could kind of look at everybody's laps. And I was happy with my mock run, my little pretend qualifying run, and we made a lot of race runs, and I like where our lap times are. I'm kind of a notoriously bad qualifier at this age of my life, so I'm hoping to pull out a miracle and qualify somewhere in the top 10. And if we can do that, I think we can race really well. I think we'll race well either way, but if I don't qualify well, it'll just be it'll be a fun night, just trying to work our way forward if we can. The track is exactly the way I remember it years ago. It is a lot of fun. All of our competitors and drivers and teams are thrilled to be in Nashville. Most of our racing series has a small footprint in the Mid-Atlantic region of the country in North Carolina and South Carolina, Virginia. We don't go farther west really than Newport or Kingsport, Tennessee. And so this was a big ask for our teams, travel-wise and cost. But the opportunities you have in Nashville for food and nightlife and so forth more than make up for it. It's just a great town, and I think our teams are they're already enjoying the weekend. So a lot of them will probably stay over Saturday night and drive home Sunday. So it's going to be fun. So.
Any old feelings or emotions?
Yeah.
From, 25. You went 30
years ago.
Yeah.
So I know. The first time I came here, we came to practice on a Friday before a Saturday show, and I was running my car every weekend on a Friday night at Florence, South Carolina, and Saturday night at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. When we had an off weekend, we came here. Bob Harmon, I believe, was a promoter at the time, and you guys had late model stocks as a feature event, and you would have 30 to 35 cars out here for a regular weekly show. It's incredible. And we loved being a part of that. Every opportunity that we had, when Myrtle Beach had an off weekend and we could leave our home track, we came here. We would stop on the highway halfway between home and Nashville and get in the creek and break the trip in half, pull off on some country store and climb in the creek and cool off. And we did that on the way home too. We'd stop for an hour and just goof off in the river or whatever, and we loved it. We really loved it. So I've got a lot of emotions and memories, great memories from racing here. And I'm thankful to be able to be here today and the track be as I remember it, and still have that same, vibe and feeling. And so we got a big race tomorrow. I hope all that goes well. I'm racing in the race, but you got to remember I'm also an owner in the series, so I'm very conscious of our operations, our processes, that we have a good, clean, fair race full of integrity for our competitors. And sometimes we get that right, sometimes we don't. So it's hard sometimes because I'm in the car getting mad about some things that are happening on the racetrack that I wish weren't, or I wish the things that we were doing better in the series. But I mean, you're going to have that. You're never going to be satisfied. It'll be a fun time tomorrow, and I hope everybody enjoys it.
Dale, you've been a big advocate of the fairgrounds from afar, but between coming down here to test and then all the on-track activity leading into this weekend, you've been able to spend a lot of time on site here. Have you learned anything about the state of this facility and then obviously what it's up against with all the development around here?
Yeah, I've not learned anything new. I do see what a lot of y'all are reporting on, and a lot of the content that you guys are creating, and I think that there's a lot of great, fair communication and information being shared to your viewers and your readers. And I feel like that there's a middle ground somewhere where we can all be happy, and there's already been a massive amount of development on the other side of the racetrack here, and I just feel like that, in my personal opinion, I'd love for the racetrack to be here. I'd love for there to be grassroots short track racing here. I think what they have right now is a great balance. And if they're able to continue down this path and allow the track some ability to renovate and improve some of the facility for the fans and so forth. I mean, I'd love for this place to stick around in any shape or form. For me, it's not necessarily NASCAR or bust. I think that you have to make sure, regardless of what goes on, that this racetrack survives, right? And I think that we can. I think there's some middle ground there that everybody could come to terms with, where we could continue to race here. The Cars Tour could continue to come back here. We'd love to. I think our competitors are having a good time, and if that ends up including an opportunity for Marcus and Bristol to come in and make some more renovations, and that's great as well. I'm a great friend of Marcus. I'm going to support everything he does. I came down here with him to talk to local government, just try to understand more about what the hurdles and challenges are. And I know that there's newer developments, but for a long time there was this idea, at least from afar, my perspective, way over in North Carolina, that the track was protected historically, and auto racing here was protected historically. And so I've always rested my hat on that. No matter what, racing is going to stay. And I know there's some movement to try to make a change there. That's quite scary. But I always felt like the racetrack would be here in some shape or form, and then we would be able to race super late models pros, late model stocks, or whatever. And so it does need some paint, needs some fixing up. They need to determine what the real future is of this racetrack, so we can then determine what kind of modern updates we can provide to the facility and also to the surrounding neighbors. I would love, regardless, to get the sound barrier up, because I think we do a really good job as a series, and our competitors do a good job as competitors to play within the rules of decibels and how loud our cars can be. But I'm telling you, man, a sound barrier around this racetrack, a proper sound barrier, would do wonders for the surrounding community. And so if the racetrack's here to stay, I would say that would be the priority for me as someone who was living here and someone who was part of the local government, to try to figure out how to ease the burden for the residents that are close.
What would you say for the folks who may not really understand maybe the nostalgia or the value behind keeping this racetrack around, if they're just going through their daily lives in Nashville and have no idea what the history is behind this place? What would you say to them about why they should be interested in maintaining this racetrack?
Well, I think it's a historic landmark, in my opinion. If you dig back and learn about how the racetrack came about and how long they've been racing cars here, and I just feel like that while there's a racing community that still wants to come here and compete and be a part of it, and they want to play within the rules, and they want to play within the restrictions, limitations that the local government, fair board, and everybody else puts on them, and that's fine. I mean, I understand that we've got to make concessions, or we got to make sacrifices to be able to come here. We put mufflers on our cars. We don't run those very often, or if at all, anywhere. And we can do more. I think the track can do more. We can build the sound barrier that I spoke of. So I think there's it just would be really, really heartbreaking to see it completely disappear. And so I don't have the ability or the energy to try to change someone else's mind on how they feel about the racetrack. And and everybody's got a right to their own opinion about what they think. But I feel like it's a fair system. Everybody goes in front of their local government officials and tells everybody how they feel. The local government makes a decision, and that's one we'll have to all live with. And so hopefully all the pro racetrack folks are doing everything they can, because I'm on that side, obviously.
Does coming to Nashville Fairgrounds provide maybe a argument for tracks like Greenville-Pickens in the future to keep racing out there?
What's that now? Sorry?
Does coming here to Nashville Fairgrounds provide a good argument for maybe racing out of a track like Greenville-Pickens Speedway?
Yeah, every track's got its own hurdles in trying to survive, and that's a a large conversation. The things that are challenges for Greenville Pickens or Southside are not similar to what Nashville's challenges are. And so, I feel like that there's some good, it's the same for me as it is here. I'm not in South Carolina, but I hear and see and read and follow along with how the town meetings are going with Greenville Pickens, and trying to see where I can interject and make some sense in how much energy I put into trying to support something like that. And that's all I can do. I can't really affect the decisions of local government or the fair board or anything like that, and just can show my support and appreciation for what's happening here. And as long as the place is around, I'll do everything I can to keep it going. And same for Greenville Pickens. I never really got a chance to race there. My grandfather's name was on the wall, track champion in '56, and so I would love to have the opportunity to go there before I get too old and just have to stop racing and go get a chance to go run there. I feel like being here is an absolute blessing. This place is still here. People are still interested in coming to see races here, and I would have never guessed that I would be back here racing basically the same race car that I came racing here the first time in '96. So pretty incredible.
To that end, you come back here. I just talked to Bob Sargent. He said it's going to be a sellout tomorrow night.
Good.
What does that say about the local community and the local racing community?
I've never doubted the support for the Speedway. I've never doubted it. I'm a passionate fan of this level of racing. So I'm in big support of racing continuing here, and I'm a big believer in the community, and I do believe there's enough of the community to support it. And just love to see a little bit of. I just love to see Bob or someone get the opportunities, Marcus, someone get the opportunities to really improve the facility itself physically. It's not in terrible shape. They want to do things around here that'll make it better for the community, and ease the burden on some of the community that isn't crazy about the noise and so forth. So I would be supporting that if I lived nearby.
Is the bump still over there?
The bump's still there. Yeah. I told Bob he could work on it a little bit, but I wouldn't take it all the way out. The little character's great for track surface. You don't want to make it too easy. Yeah.
We had a big showing for the SRX race here a couple of years ago. Mike just mentioned this being a sellout crowd tomorrow. Did you have the SRX race as kind of the model for the event tomorrow, or are you?
Not really. We just kind of come and show up and hope it goes well, and we got some protocols, and we know how to run our shows or how we want them to go and how we want them to operate. Bob's been incredible, very supportive. He's got a lot of folks here on property. It's made this weekend simple and easy, and I feel like that support is going to be beneficial to us tomorrow night. But there's a lot of pressure riding on, I think, our staff and all of our folks to have a great night. We got a lot of people that are probably going to be paying attention to what we're doing here, and we want to come out of here proud of the end result. So where I run and how I run is at the very bottom of that priority list.
Your dad wrecked my dad in the 70s?
I don't know who your dad is, so I'm not sure. I'm sure he's wrecked a few people
Watch
here.
the video on YouTube.
Yeah, he's wrecked a few here and there.
With this being the farthest car store has been, and obviously this being a sellout now, how much does this motivate you to possibly bring the car store to other tracks in the future, farther away?
So this is how that works, and we get with our competitors and we say, hey, we've got some opportunities, and it's honestly, if they were majority against it, we wouldn't do it. We've had the opportunity to go to some places up north, some well-known tracks, and 12-hour drive where our teams are just not interested in it. They just aren't. And in a lot of cases, we can't boost the back of the purse to help those guys with the additional travel costs. Tootsie's, where we were last night, came in and helped us a lot to be able to help our purse on the back end, so we can pay our teams a little bit more, because the cost of diesel fuel and hotels and all the things out here, it's just asking our teams to to spend a little bit more than their normal weekend. And so most of our race weekends are travel distance of anywhere from 3 to 6 hours. This one's probably anywhere from 8 to 12 for our teams. We got some guys in Virginia and South Carolina, so it's a big lift for them just to travel out here and get out here. A lot of them got real jobs. They don't, trying to take off Thursday and Friday from work every other week, every single, all season long is a big ask. So we try not to stress our teams too much because they're really the heartbeat of the series. And if our competitors and owners aren't happy with what's going on, then we got to make changes.
We saw Cletus McFarland make his debut at Rockingham Wood.
They're racing right now.
Oh, they're racing right now?
Yeah, they're doing the
Freedom 500.
The Freedom 500.
That's right.
Yeah, little Wyatt's in that with Kenny Wallace. So big deal.
Also,
the astronauts are
just came back,
I think they just get
they
through?
just got back. Yeah.
Woo! So, they got to splash down in the ocean, but they're coming through the atmosphere very touch and go, I'm sure. So I got to just take a peek at that for a minute. So a lot going on right now. But, yeah, sorry.
Now, would you be okay and cool with Cletus McFarland maybe making a race start here in the car store?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Cletus could come race with us, and I would help him. I mean, and this is a series, that guys like that need to be racing in, as opposed to trying to go get cleared for Talladega in O'Reilly's car, right? I mean, he's like, if the phone rings, he's going to answer it, and he's going to listen just like anyone else, and he's right about that. And if somebody presents him with an opportunity, and he's like, hey, I want to do this, nobody should have a problem with that. Now, NASCAR's doing the right thing and trying to govern and make sure that, he's not going places and doing things that he doesn't need to be doing just yet. And I feel like that's all happening the way it's supposed to. He should absolutely seek out opportunities to race pro cars, late models, late model stocks. He should absolutely be going to local short tracks and getting anything he can and just getting laps. He don't have to go, he don't have to be winning. He just needs to go race and run and learn and experience, right? And just get a big old catalog of experience to take up, up through the higher ranks.
Thank you, Dale.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Dale.
Yeah.